All right, we are live. What's going on, Black Speakers Network? We are back for yet another Speakers Magazine live interview. It is October 2021, and we are back in the building. Obviously, we have the entire Avengers assembled, and we can go around and let me put the names down so you can see who we got here. Of course, the one and only Pam Perry, founder and publisher of Speakers Magazine in the building. Detroit, stand up. We got Sierra Black in the building, the best writer that money could buy. Probably owe a little bit more money, and she's just like slinging the words in these streets. And then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Delatoro McNeil,
That's
the
right.
second Esquire. Did I leave anything out? Not Esquire. Okay. I'm like, what are these letters?
You adding stuff, right? Keep going. Keep going.
Listen, I'm like, we out of space. I don't even fit in a little blue circle.
Going.
It's an honor indeed to be here with y'all. I'm really pumped and excited. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I mean, Brian, Sierra, Pam, you guys are fam. So I love y'all dearly. And this is going to be an incredible broadcast show conversation. And I'm really, really grateful for each of you and how you shine so bright in your expertise. And I'm excited to empower other influencers with what they learn through this experience. So let's get it.
I always like to say congratulations to you for making the cover of the magazine. I tell you, Pam vets these people. So for you to grace the cover says a lot about who you are, what you do, and what you've given back to the community. So we thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you, Sierra. You're incredible to work with. You're incredible. You're phenomenal. And Pam has been a ride or die for over 10 years in my brand. She is remarkable. I tell people everywhere all the time, there is no better celebrator of influencers than Pam Perry. She loves to get behind you and push you to your next level. So I love you, Pam. I'm grateful for you.
This right here is not just he on the cover, but it is actually a takeover issue.
Yes, he has taken over.
Like literally take over. Like this is all of his Crush the Stage students in here as well. And he's obviously in the center, but he has all of his students in here that have crushed the stage with him as well. So we'll kind of go through it page by page for that. But it is, then there's a little thing. Brian, put this back up here.
Right, because he said that you've been with him, and that's evidence. Those are the receipts that you've been pushing for years.
That orange book right there was the one that caught my attention, Dale. Remember that? I called you. I was in the airport, and I was like, who is this guy? And we called, and we had a conversation because I was like, there's a Black man whose book is in the airport, and it's like caught between a dream and a job. I was like, this is hot. And then we actually met up and talked and all that stuff. And then over the years, obviously your conferences and SpeakerCon and you were in NSA, you were in Dallas. I mean, just the whole thing of just
Morning for Business. I mean, we've done so much stuff together, Pam. It's unbelievable.
Yes. It all started with the book. I had never really heard you speak. It was the book that caught my attention.
Right.
And then when I heard you speak, I was like, oh, he is definitely got the it factor here. This is it. This is it. So yeah, that is cool. My favorite picture of you is when you're jumping backwards. I don't know how you did that. You're jumping backwards from the stage into the audience.
Yes.
Like,
I firmly believe in experiential learning, right? So, many people know that my master's is in curriculum design and instructional systems. And so I really believe that people learn best through experience. And so I do everything that I can to try to build experience into everything that I do, whether it's a book. Every book that I write is an experience for the reader. It's not just a book, it's an experience. The workbook, if you're going to attend a conference, if you're going to attend a keynote, everything that I do, I love to make it experiential. Because I think, according to Edgar Dale in 1969, he said that 2 weeks after exposure to any content, retention of that content explodes when the learner was in an active learning state as they were learning the information. And so whether it's crowd surfing, Pam, or whether it's the Transformer or the Matrix, I do all kinds of things with my audiences to make them do the very thing that we're talking about, because one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to execute on it. So I believe we learn best by doing. So I love that.
that trust fall was just that's really that was the thing. I'm like, okay, you got to trust them, and then they're trusting you. I was like, oh,
that is a bit much. That is a bit much, but we can tell
move. That's
your
a rock
background in this. You know, I have my book. I'm on chapter 6, by the way, and I can tell that that background, you know, the learning, instructional learning, because this is a course right here. This right here is a course. So I'm just doing my first read through, but you will go back and you will actually do the activities. The engagement part is really what's going to resonate. That's what makes it active, as you mentioned. But this is yes, this is I have the workbook too, but I'm on chapter 6, and it is a good, easy read. It's fun. It's fun. It's engaging. It's all of you. It's energy. It's exhilarating. It's all of that. It is absolutely all of that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I think we were talking about that a little bit, and I'm so excited for you, man, because we've had a lot of conversations within the Black Speakers Network community. You poured so much into us over the years. You have absolutely paid your dues in this business. I mean, I've seen you rise and get your flowers through NSA, through Toastmasters, absolutely, and SpeakerCon. Where me, you, and Pam pretty much swept the entire thing, and so
we sure did.
That was Cheryl Wood. Thank you, Dr. Cheryl Wood, who's in St. Martin right now, texting me, talking about I would be there, but I'm in St. Martin. Okay, well, whatever, boo. Okay.
But over the years, that's what it's been. And so I think now, but it's also cool to watch the progression of your brand. So we talked about how speakers reinvent themselves. Yeah. And we've seen it. We've seen you kind of build on this foundation and continue to do that. And also, to Pam's point, I can't think of anybody that's more focused on making sure that you're producing just content, books. I think I have a Del Toro shelf back here, just with your stuff on it. And so you've been consistent.
Says congratulations. Crystal Cunningham said congratulations.
Yay, Crystal.
Smith Pearson, she said congratulations. Yes. This is a takeover issue. So he got his folks in here, and okay. So we had a takeover issue with Brian. We had a takeover issue. What was the last one that we did a takeover issue for? I can't remember. But anyway, the people pulled up and they did a good job. You actually not just trained them in the Crush the Stage, but then you also trained them in terms of their speaker reels. Everybody had that. Everybody had the right bio. Everybody had great photos. Yeah. I didn't have to say ooh, don't send me that picture you shot in the car. Send me something else. They were all professional pictures. I was like, oh my goodness. And so I want to give a shout out to Todd, who was very diligent in making sure that his was good. Todd, you go get your copies. They coming, man.
Wait, who's Todd?
So, well, we'll get to the full reveal, but that's when Pam sent me the mag. I'm like, this is a slamming issue. I mean, everything on it looked good. You can tell. Pam usually have to work with them about the pics and everything, but we can tell Dell already had them set up. They knew what they were supposed to be. They knew how they were supposed to show out. Since we're talking about it being a takeover issue, why don't we turn it over to you now, Dell, and tell them about the program that these students have gone through. Yes. So that they could be part of this takeover issue.
So I wish y'all could be in studio with me, because I have chill bumps on my arms right now, because that's a massive compliment. When someone says that your students showed up at a high caliber, at a high level,
yes,
that really speaks volumes to me. It's funny because Crystal Cunningham is a graduate of Crush the Stage. Dakisha Williams, a graduate of Crush the Stage. People who are commenting, they know the power of that 3-day experience. Crush the Stage is basically my first base program. It's to me, it's everything I've learned over all the decades about platform level mastery, expert level platform mastery, how to be sensational from the stage, how to be sensational from the platform. We teach it in a 3-day experience called Crush the Stage. But here's the interesting thing. everyone who's in the magazine is not just a graduate of Crush the Stage, where they learn everything about how to be masterful on stage, but they're also a graduate of my higher level program, which is called Speaking Business Mastery. Speaking Business Mastery is a 5-month apprenticeship program that I take them through, where I teach them everything soup to nuts about how to build a brand in speaking, publishing, marketing, promo videos, how to create products, product funnels, contracts, speaker agreements, email campaigns, book publishing, how to do weekend seminars. They learn how to build, how to do media. They learn how to build entire one-sheets, websites, everything that they need to actually market themselves as a speaker, get booked as a speaker, negotiate with clients as a speaker, and then promote their brand globally as a speaker. They learn that in Speaking Business Mastery. And so everyone that's in the magazine is a graduate of both programs, Crush the Stage and Speaking Business Mastery. So Pam, what I said is, I said, listen, y'all I had to curl the lips. I said, don't y'all make me look bad. Every one of y'all has to bring your A game, because I have taught you what you need to do. You know how the eye gets all crinkly? I said, I've taught you what to do. Don't you upload no low resolution stuff. And then here's what's funny. Even though they knew what to do, instructional point, this issue forced them to take it to the next level. Because I said, y'all, I'm going to be promoting the heck out of this everywhere to all my corporate clients, all my association clients. So how do you want to show up to the world? Oh my God, Dr. Del Toro, my promo video is not ready. Well, you got 2 weeks to shoot something. You better shoot something. Well, you got the right photos. You better get on Thumbtack and hire somebody. You got 2 weeks. So we put them through the paces, but every single one of them stepped up to the game.
Well, they certainly listened. You certainly instructed well, because they did show up and they showed out. Pam and I had a conversation about how great this magazine, this takeover looks.
And one of the things, Brian wrote an article last month about speakers need to follow instructions, right? And so the word count was on point. Everything was on point. I mean, it was like they followed instructions, and that's the first lesson for any speaker out there. When when you have those applications, fill it out completely. If you can, do above and beyond, but always say within the word count that people are asking. If they're asking for your social links, know the social link URL. Don't just say, oh, I'm at such and such, but give me the URL so we can actually go to the LinkedIn, the Twitter, the Facebook, or whatever. I mean, it was in there. So I was like, yes, this was a joy to do. It really was, because it was very organized, and your story is definitely phenomenal, Sierra.
Sensational, Sierra. Thank you so much.
That title just suit you perfectly. I mean, I just came with it. It suits you perfectly.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate you.
Stage.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And I would love to learn a little bit more about the book too, man, because like obviously this thing is awesome, and people are getting an introduction to you and the work that you're doing, but you're shifting into higher gear. First of all, we were talking last time about the motorcycle. Like
right. You were in the last recording last month.
Yes.
On the back, because I said that motorcycle fit your brand perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
And they weren't, Brian wasn't too sure. I'm like, no, that suits him perfectly. I didn't know you were an actual writer, though. I learned that through reading the book. I did. So, Brian, go ahead with your questions about the book, because it's a lot of good stuff. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, no, I didn't know you could look that cool on a motorcycle. That was the main thing. Like, I don't have a deep philosophical like.
I look good.
That's his song. That's my song.
I got swag. I was like, this black man look good on this bike. Okay.
Yes.
But, I have one real question, because obviously, like Delta, so you're a peak performance coach, right? Like you're a peak performance expert, right? And so like within the framework, and obviously we have right here, like kick fear-based living to the curb. So before you even open the book, like it's drawing me in by thinking about like possibility. And I know you help a lot of people kind of break down like some of those barriers. And so I would just love, like, I know there's a lot of different frameworks and you introduce a lot of concepts, talk about like living like a 3D life, but I would love to know kind of because you've written so much content, and then this is for like your core audience. So like, what was in your mind as you're like, okay, like I need to package this and deliver it in the world in this way. Like, in your mind, from the speaker and a business side, like, what did you want this book to do when it got into people's hands?
That's a sensational question, man. That's a loaded question, Brian.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing question. So first of all, and this also gives me chill bumps. So here's what I'm excited about. So this is my 8th book. And so 8 is my favorite number.
I love 8.
I love the number 8 because of what it stands for: infinity, abundance, growth, wealth, balance, right? The Chinese, watch this, y'all. The Chinese believe so much in the number 8 and its power that when they hosted the 2008 Olympics, they hosted it in August, right? Number 1. They hosted it on August 8th. They started it at 8 o'clock at night. Come on, somebody. They hosted it, watch this, and they hosted it in Beijing. Beijing has 8 letters in it. That's how important the number 8 is to the Chinese culture. And we, as you all know, there's so many amazing business lessons you can learn from studying Chinese culture. Anyway, my point in sharing that with you is this book really means so much to me because this one has been published by Barrett Kohler and it's being distributed by Penguin Random House, y'all. So this is not a self-published book. This is a massive book that's being globally distributed on October 19th. And we have an epic goal. And that epic goal is to hit the New York Times bestseller list. And so this isn't, and I feel like an ant carrying a cracker because it's a massive, massive goal. And it's a public goal. And so, and there's, less than 1% of New York Times bestselling authors are Black men. So this is a big, big deal. And so my passion, Brian, behind it is I wanted to package and give to the world something that I've been giving behind closed doors for the last 7 years. So some people don't know this, but I do a conference every year called the Full Throttle Experience. And God gave me the vision to because I've been riding my motorcycle for about the last 10 years. And so every time I would go on rides, I would get these downloads. You guys know me. I'm very, the way I teach content is I teach because I believe everything is a lesson. Everything is a life lesson in some way. So every time I would ride my motorcycle, I would get all these life lessons. And so I was like, man, so I started writing them down, right? And then I was like, man, this is more than just this is like a conference. So I did 3 illustrated messages. They all went great from the content. And then I said, man, this is really powerful. People love this. I should create a conference. So I created a conference called the Full Throttle Experience that I've run annually from 2013 up until 2019. And then in 2020, I sold the concepts of the conference to a major publisher and got a book deal. And so now, for the first time, y'all, globally, the world's going to get a chance to hear and experience and learn the content that I've taught in my conference for many years. And so that's why this book is so important to me. That's why it's so special to me. And that's why we need everybody's help, because this is not a goal that I can accomplish with my own database. I can't achieve it with my own influence. We need everybody to get behind this book and create a global biker community. In fact, we have we're launching on October 19th, but the book is available for pre-order right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, et cetera, et cetera. And we're asking everybody to go pick up several copies of this book, because to hit the New York Times, you need a concentrated effort. In other words, I know plenty of people who have self-published books who have sold 50,000 copies of a book over the course of a year or 2 years, but you can't get to the New York Times by selling that amount. You have to hit the New York Times, all the books have to go through what's called the trade. That's number 1. And number 2, you got to hit it in a 1-week span. Right. So it's a really concentrated effort. So that's what we're stoked. So we're asking everybody to go check it out and pick up copies.
So give those instructions again. Give them very clearly so we know what we need to do within a week's time. Tell us what to do again.
So here's what's happening. So right now is the perfect time to go get pre-orders, because here's the thing: all pre-orders count towards what's called first week sales. Okay. So when the book drops on the 19th, all the books that are sold between now and the 19th count towards first week sales.
Very good.
NYT is like a laser beam. And it's so funny because you mentioned something powerful, Pam, that I'm announcing for the first time. I haven't even announced this on my own page, y'all. We just found out 2 days ago that your boy's book is going to be in 35 airports all across America. The publisher picked this book to be in 35 different airports all across America. And so when people are traveling, et cetera, they're going to be able to. So we're going to do a whole social media campaign around like a Pokemon, like where's Del Toro's book kind of a thing. So I'm excited, y'all. It's an incredible time, and we're just grateful. And I really believe that when you put good stuff out into the marketplace, it comes back. And when you put good seed in the ground, you will begin to start reaping a harvest. And like you said, Brian, we've been doing this for a minute, man. And so we've put a lot of good seed in the ground. So it's just our time to have a harvest.
That is
fantastic.
One of the things I like about your book, so I love the book, but one of the things is the back matter of your book. So you have in the back of your book, Welcome to Crushing Life with Del Toro, your podcast.
Yes.
Okay. So everything is strategic. I want people to understand about this branding thing. Pam out here doing PR marketing. It's all strategic. This is what Del does. So this right here, he has a podcast in the back, so you can listen to that, and then also Crush Your Sales. He has that where you go there, and then also too, you talk about the other things that people can get as well from that. So it's like, okay, they got the book, like what's their next step? And you already tell them to say, hey, stay connected on my podcast and also do this in the back. So every book should have that. Obviously, you're going to have your author bio in there and stuff, but it also says helpmecrushthestage.com to learn the dates for our next training and cohort enrolled today. So empowering to go into your next level about our services. It's like I tell people all the time, the book is great, but the book is also a big business card. Okay.
That's right.
It's a big business card. So if you do not make the offer, like how to work with me next, like, and tell them about your services, tell them about your podcast, tell them about your, that's like what I'm talking about. And then the workbook too. And it's like, oh, okay, well, if you don't want to do the workbook, I can come and teach it to you. So I could do that too. So yeah, this is like all around number 8. Congratulations. I see it on the New York Times bestseller list. I would say that is one of the things is that we've got to, write the vision, make it plain. You did. And it's up to us. Like you said, it's not a lot of Black people that are on the New York Times bestseller list. So we will definitely support you in making sure that happens on our watch. Okay.
You said Black men specifically. Black men are the 1%, less than 1%.
Yeah.
That's wild. What was it like going through the publishing process for working with traditional publisher? Is this your first time going through?
So this is my second. Yeah. So great question, Brian. So this is my second major publishing deal, and so and I love teaching influencers about publishing because it's a whole different world. It's a different planet, literally, from self-publishing. And I love self-publishing, and I do self-publishing. I think it's powerful, it's important. But there are night and day differences between when you're working with a major publisher and you're working with a major distributor like Penguin Random House and Barrett Kohler. The rules shift, and you really have to learn how to play by the rules. And like Pam was talking about, you got to really have your stuff together. When they say we don't want any chapters over 4,000 words, you can't submit 6,000 word chapters. I mean, you have to play by the rules. You have to understand what they're looking for. You have to understand what they want in the back matter, right? And play by those rules. You want to make sure that you're actually delivering content that actually is substantive, because there's multiple people who read the chapters and they'll come back and say, I didn't learn anything new from this chapter that I didn't already know. Go back and rewrite it. I mean, it's a
and you were coachable. You were coachable enough to do that. Were you tied to your title? Did they name the title, or did you name the title, or was it a combination?
So here's what's interesting, right? So because we sold the concepts based upon the conference, the name of the conference is called the Full Throttle Experience. But the publisher didn't want to name it Full Throttle because we didn't want people who were non-bikers, because the book is not, the motorcycle riding is really a backdrop metaphor for living life to the fullest. You don't have to ever have ridden a motorcycle or have any interest in riding a motorcycle to get massive transformation from the book. However, the motorcycle is just a fun, cool, kind of a behind the scenes narrative, if that makes sense, that supports all the messaging, right? But what was interesting, Pam, is that as we were going through the process, the publisher we tested 30 different titles. in the trade. And then they were like, okay, this one is going to resonate best with the ideal audience, and here's why. And so when you're working with a major publisher, you don't get to call all the shots. When you're self-publishing, you get to call all the shots. You take all the risk, but you also get all the profit. When you work with a major publisher, the rules change. And so you really have to be adaptable. You really have to adjust your style, and you really have to understand that everybody is on this team. When I do meetings with the publisher, there's 12 to 15 people on these Zooms, and they're from all over the world. And so it's a bigger deal than just, okay, this is what I want to say, let's put it out there on paper.
That's what I was going to say. Although you don't do it by yourself, you get all that expertise, though. You get those years of experience. You get that wealth of knowledge. You get worldwide global influence, right? So you give up a little to gain a lot. And I know we're talking about branding. I mean, he is on point with that, but I don't want us to overlook the value of the book itself, because at the end of it, it talks about discussions. So even if you don't know how to guide yourself, the book gives you, there's nothing missing in this book. The book gives you discussions on how to follow through this book. And I can tell you, it's very moving. On chapter 3, on chapter 3, I was chilling, reading, right? And I had been saying, I need to go. I was going to go for a walk. I was going to take my exercise walk, right? Chapter 3 talks about change now, do it now, da-da-da. Do you know, I put the book down, said, let me put this book down, because otherwise I would have kept reading. I put the book down, went and did what I was supposed to do.
Come on.
And then came back.
That's great.
That's how moving the book is, you know.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's of great value, guys.
Yummy. This is what they call a yummy book. This is I love this. This is yummy.
Thank you so much.
Yummy.
Thank you, Pierre. That's
oh my God.
I appreciate it. And guess what, y'all? Something else that's really great news. So the book is already available on Audible. So everybody who's watching, even though the book does not drop so right now everything's open for pre-sale. So you can buy the book, but Amazon's gonna start shipping them on the 19th when the book actually is quote live. However, because the publisher also made me go in studio and actually record the audiobook, the book is already available on Audible.
Yes.
So everybody who loves Audible can go to Audible right now.
I love Audible.
Type in my name or type in Shift into a Higher Gear, and it'll pull up, and you can listen to a 4-minute sample of me sharing the content. So another great thing that everybody can do to support what we're doing right now is, and the publisher just told me this yesterday, because Audible and Amazon are linked and Audible is already out, if you have an Audible account, if you will download the book on Audible, start listening to it, and leave us a review on Audible, Amazon will pick up that review and put it on the Amazon page, so that by the time we go live, all of the reviews, so in other words, the day on the 19th, there'll be 25 reviews on the actual Amazon page.
Fantastic.
How did those reviews get there? They came from Audible. Right? So, right.
That's so cool. And the reviews, that we live in a review-driven world. So the more reviews you have, the better the book was going to be found, and the better it will have a chance of getting all on that New York Times bestseller. So we are in a review. So when you go to Amazon, you're looking at the reviews. Ones that have hundreds of views are the ones that's like, oh, this must be pretty good. And it'll pair it with other books as well. So you want to make sure that you do that. I like this page here. It's just the Posse Audit. Okay. And that right there, it says list the top 20 people in your life whom you talk to, text, and video chat with the most. Next to each person's name, simply circle whether this person is adding positive value to your life or subtracting positive value from your life. Give yourself 5 points for every adding in that your circle, and give yourself a 0 for every subtracting. And then at the end, it says if you scored 90 or 100, you got a great posse. He said, and then grow and cultivate that. That part right there was just worth the book right there. Just to have okay, I need to get me a new posse. Okay, I need to roll with a new tribe. Here are not the one. So yeah, it's okay. So this right here, this is a private page. So the people who in your house is what is my name on that list?
So here's what's interesting, Pam, about that, and I love that you brought up the Posse Audit, because here's the truth, right? And that's what's it. So the motorcycle theme is throughout the whole book, and but it's how you leverage it. For example, with the Posse Audit, one of the things that I firmly believe is that a lot of us don't understand the importance of the people that we surround ourselves with. So the U.S. Census already told on us. The U.S. Census says that you will earn within 10 to about 15 grand of your 5 closest friends. Now, you got to ask yourself a question. Are you cool with earning within 5 to 10 to 15 grand of your closest friends? And another thing I put in the book is I say, listen, if I gave you $100,000 cash today to start a business, would you hire your closest friends, who's currently your posse, to help you run that business? And most audiences, when I ask that question all over the planet as a speaker, most audiences say no. They wouldn't hire their closest friends to help them run a new business that they started with $100,000. And so my question is, okay, if you wouldn't hire the people close to you to help you run your business, and you wouldn't trust them with $100,000, how can you trust them with your priceless multi-million-dollar life?
Wow.
You gotta change your posse. Wow. You gotta change. Now watch this. There is a difference between Applebee's friends and P.F. Chang's friends.
Come on.
There's a difference between P.F. Chang's friends and Ruth Chris friends. There's a difference between Ruth Chris friends and Three Forks friends, right? There's nothing, and you don't have to diss your Applebee's people because you're at a Ruth Chris level. But you have to understand something. Friends create comfort. Mentors create growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Friends create comfort. Mentors create growth. Friends love you just the way you are, and you need friends. I have friends. I love friends. But I also believe that you need to have multivitamins, people in your life that do more than one thing. When you take a multivitamin, it's got multiple benefits. One pill has multiple benefits. And when you have the right people in your life, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. When you have the right people in your life, 1 + 1 equals 11. And so I like to keep people like that in my life. One person that stands for like 6 things. Pam Perry is one of those kind of people. Brian, you're that kind of person. Sierra, you're that kind of person. You're a friend, you're a confidant, you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're an advisor, right? You're a prayer partner, but you're also a resource. You can pull up your phone. You can go into your Rolodex and send somebody a lead, right? So the purpose of the Posse Audit is to help you get clear about who's in your life, who are you riding? Because right now, every one of y'all is riding with someone. You're riding with a group, whether you realize it or not. You're already on the highway of life, riding with a group of people. The question is that the ideal biker posse for you? And if not, how do we shift you out of that and get you into a new club, a new community with some new bandanas up in this hush puppy so we can
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. And I think one of the things that's interesting is that this is all, and this is why I love talking to you, man, because you're like, none of this stuff happens by accident, because you just like roll through life and it just be what it is. Like, this is like intentional practices. And that's why, when Pam is like, oh, your book is meaty, and Sierra's, kind of pulling out these things. And the reason why we got a companion workbook is that, this isn't entertainment. Like, the idea is that we are taking intentional action to be able to bring, like, you should not be the same person when you flipped open the book as you did when you finished that, and especially when you finished the workbook, because the idea is that now you're actually changing something, like something is different.
That's right. That's right.
This one little part I just want to read really quick bit. Yeah. So it's this. I just love, I love all your books, but this one that says, here are 15 places you can look to find relationships to shift you into higher gear. Meetup.com, Eventbrite, Facebook events, local chamber of commerce, local professional associations like Black Speakers Network, Rotary, Kiwanis, Business Networking International, Toastmasters Next Door, local gym, spa, fitness, the local church, obviously dating apps, pull your friends, Facebook groups in your interests, LinkedIn groups in your interests, local, state, and international conferences and conventions. Like, that's just a tidbit. Go get the book to read the rest of it. Okay? It will blow your mind. Okay.
Yeah,
you need this book on your bookshelf, but more importantly, you need to read it and do it. You need to
work it. You got to work it. You got to be active, engaged.
Yes.
Do the assignments.
It's not just about information, it's about implementation. And I'm telling you, if you just read and did like 90%, like even 10% of the books probably on your bookshelf and did the actual things in there, you'll be further ahead. So many people but we want you to buy the book, but we actually want you to actually take action from the book. Dale gives you practical steps on how to shift into higher gear. In 2022, you want that to be your year of higher gear. So you need to really
come on. You teaching. Come on, sis.
I love that. Okay, so here's the magazine. This is my favorite part.
Here.
Yes.
This magazine is fire.
It is fire.
this 2021, I feel like has been the best magazine covers.
Yes.
So I mean,
really.
If you don't do a calendar again, Pam, I mean, 2022 might be the year to bring the calendar.
No, it is, because 2021 was kind of like that year where after we came out of the pandemic, it was like, okay, well, what's on our calendar for 2021? But 2022, you're right. We need to bring that calendar back. That is a good thing.
Miles killed it on this issue right here. He did it right here. All these pictures, the layout and everything.
Well, the whole team did. I mean, it's Miles.
Yeah, the whole team.
He has some other people that help him as well. So
we know there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. We know that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And this is available, by the way, and we got a ton of new people watching, like, what's going on? So by the way, Speakers Magazine. So Speakers Magazine, official magazine of Black Speakers Network. You can see here, speakersmagazine.net. We'll put it up on the screen in a little bit. But if you actually, I'm literally online just sharing the screen right now. So everybody could go to speakersmagazine.net, speakersmagazine.net, and check out the current issue. We are talking to Dr. Teletor McNeil II and getting our life right as we do. So it's cool. But yeah, I love this cover, man. Very appropriate, and I think at the end of the day, this is well rounded, and the fact that this is a takeover issue too, we're about to jump into. I'm super excited.
A quick funny story, y'all. So I posted 3 pictures on Facebook to see what people thought which photo would do the best on the cover, and I got more comments and votes on that Facebook post, to the tune of 800 people voting on between Facebook, and then another 100 and some odd voted on LinkedIn and Instagram. We got over 1,000 comments.
Oh my God!
Which one won, Del? Which picture won?
This one won.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, this was the one, hands down. They were like, we like the other ones, but this is for a cover.
That's right.
This is for a cover, definitely for sure.
I crowdsourcing and stuff is really smart. It's a really smart way to kind of do it.
Dr. Alana.
Did you the publisher's page is after this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. You can take it.
So Dr. Alana is one of the first graduates of both of Dell's programs. She had her stuff together. She has all these books. It's kind of faded out, but not just a doctor, but she got a bunch of books too. Very smart lady. Wanted to showcase her. Actually, doctors are the bookends of this. She's the inside front cover, and then there's another doctor. Dr. Jacinta is the back cover. So bookend by 2 very smart Black women. I love that.
I'm sorry, Pam, real quick. Dr. Alana is sensational. So she's a trauma psychiatrist based in Houston, Texas. And she literally, after going through our programs, she got positioned she's spoken for the Obama Foundation twice.
Wow.
Last year. And her brand is exploding right now. And she helps people with trauma. And she's done so much for veterans one-on-one. She came to me and she said, Deltoro, I want to get out of one-on-one therapy, and I want to help the world. And now she's created her own conference. She's got her own books. She's created her own brand.
She's got a lot of books.
So very proud of her. Yeah, she's doing sensational work.
Yes. The Brand Accelerator graduates, that's up there in the front. This is a group that I work with 6 cohorts quarterly. And so this group here, Yolana's a voiceover artist. She's a voice of Wayfair. Letitia Nicole, she definitely is selling her program. Dexter's a faith-based financial mentor. Dr. David, I think we all know Dr. David. Brian, you know him. Demiris, and then Rodney was on the cover. You do? Okay. And then Rodney was on the cover last month. So they are definitely accelerating their brand as well. So that is one of the things they want to really, taking over the speaker industry. It's enough room for everyone. It really is. And you got to find your niche and really just be consistent with it and strategic. Like Dale, be strategic and consistent is really key. Like Dale said, we met 10 years ago. I had black hair then.
Hey, Pam, I had short hair then. I mean, I've grown this forest in the last 6 months.
Right. COVID has everybody just change it around. So it's one of those things where this is a takeover issue. So they're all graduates of his award-winning speaker training program called Crush the Stage. You can go helpmecrushthestage.com to learn about how to really speak better. One of the things I teach people about how to accelerate the brand, but I don't really teach them on how to speak. I just kind of assume that part they're gonna have by the time they get to me. So if you don't, I must refer you back to Dale or something like that. So that's one of the main things. It's about presence. It's about your messaging. It's really a lot of just really how to speak better. I mean, you can learn a lot from Toastmasters, but sometimes you need to go a little bit further and really learn from someone who's really mastered the art of speaking and
who's in the game, right? Building a brand from it. Yeah.
And Dr. Nicole Mason, love her. I think she's in the DMV area, isn't she, Brian?
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know her.
Yeah. So Dr. Nicole Mason's she's a speaker, she's a preacher, she is an attorney. She is a powerful woman of God who's doing incredible things in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space with the federal government. So she is really, really just an icon in that space, and she's doing remarkable things with her brand, which is called Show Up Great, and she empowers C-suite level women all around the world with her content, her books, her programs. She even empowers men. She's just recently done a compilation book with men. So she's really, really a powerhouse. And when you hear her speak and teach, you know that you've been impacted powerfully. So I'm a big fan of her work, and she's worked really closely with Dr. Cheryl Wood as well for many years, and just a remarkable leader.
I think her video is better. Hover over a little bit. I think her video is in there. Hover over. Is it in there? It's on the page where she is actually doing an MLK speech.
And nice.
It's really, really powerful. Like you said, it's just amazing. Yeah. So that's on the website as well. So
diversity, equity, and inclusion right now, that's the number one area that we're getting corporate requests from, and it's not slowing down at all. And honestly,
fantastic.
2020 was a year of kind of historic corporate investment in that area. But I think part of what's happening is that companies really want to throw money at a problem, but they don't know exactly kind of what to do with it. And so like anybody that's been in this like DE&I space, I know she's working with the government, but like corporate companies, nonprofit sector, and everybody, they are needed right now.
Yes. And then these are two of graduates, Gary Arblaster and Ken Hartley. Okay, so I'll let Dale kind of like give us a little bit of background on Gary Arblaster and Ken Hartley. He's got the cool name Arblaster. You kind of figure he would have to be a speaker, huh?
Gary looks like he's like a host of like The Prophet or like one of those shows on
right. Very polished photo right there. Already looks like he's in the TV industry.
It is a good photo.
So Gary is a top financial consultant, and he's a financial advisor. Literally handles hundreds of millions of dollars for his clients, their wealth portfolios and things of that nature. So he is really, really big into his brand is called Better Leadership, Better Dollars, meaning as soon as you decide to lead your life in a much higher way, your money will follow your interpersonal leadership. He's John Maxwell certified. He's DISC certified. And he really believes in helping people just take their financial life to the next level. So his newest book is coming out, I think, next year, and it's called Making Millions But Going Broke. And it's the whole narrative behind how all of us, by the end of our life, will have over $1 million pass through our hands. But it's not about how it passes through our hands. It's how we invest it and invest it correctly. That's going to create wealth for us. So awesome guy. So that's Gary Arblaster. And then Ken Hartley is doing amazing things. Ken Hartley is also John Maxwell and DISC certified. But Ken is actually an executive pastor at his church.
Oh, okay.
He was an MC on the Get Motivated tour.
I remember that.
For several years. So he would introduce some of the top name speakers in the country, et cetera, et cetera. But so Ken's story is a little bit interesting, and he doesn't mind me sharing this. Ken had all these certifications, but he wasn't making any money. He's like, Dr. Del Toro, I need you to come and show me how to package what Ken knows and how I can go out there and make a message for myself. I'm grateful for all these certifications, but the certifications aren't making me money. And so we had to have an honest brass tacks conversation. A lot of people, y'all, are in that boat. They have all these degrees and certifications and credentials from other places, but they haven't been able to monetize it. And so he came through Crush the Stage, and we helped him to create his signature message, the unique problem he solved. Same with Gary. And then he went through Speaking Business Mastery to learn how to build a brand around his expertise. But as a result of that, we were able to help him get out there. And y'all, true story, this is no joke. This guy went from making $1,500 a speech to now in 2021, this guy is charging $15,000 a keynote.
Wow, that's cool.
Period. He went from $1,500 a talk to $15,000 a talk in 2 years working underneath our programs.
I love it.
10x that. But listen,
a coach will help you get to that next point. It really is. I see people like I've noticed this. Oh, I've been following you for years or whatever, and I'm like, but you're still in the same spot, boo. You need to get a coach of some kind. I mean, Anthony is trying to do the same thing, trying to get different results. So you want to do something different. He was smart to do that. It really was. That pays. It pays off. It really does.
He was smart, and then he went to the right person to help him package that. That's the key. The right program.
I love this. I love this particular layout. This right here, that is a money shot right there.
All day.
Money shot. Yes.
Here's what everybody in BSN is going to want to know about this. Can I borrow that shirt? I have something coming up in a couple weeks, and I need options. This thing, you are the great.
I gotta give a mad shout out to Rick Rollins, based here in Tampa, Florida. He owns Ricardo's, which is a high-end men's fashion boutique, and Rick's known me since I was a kid. Rick's known me since I was 10 years old, and he's an incredible stylist and television personality, and so I love to support businesses, period, but I love to support Black-owned businesses, and I've known Rick for a long time. And so every time I'm doing something big, I always go to Rick, and he styles me and gets my shirts and my outfits and suits and stuff together. And so he picked that shirt for me when we did the photo shoot. But you guys did an incredible job with laying this out on the inside, and that's what it is. Like when you said the money shot, I have a quick story that I'd like to tell you guys about the $1 Million Roundtable. So first of all, the $1 Million Roundtable is like the Oscars of speaking. You can ask anyone in the National Speakers Association. It's one of the most prestigious stages that a speaker can earn in their career. They vet over 650 speakers from all around the world for 17 spots on the main platform of the MDRT conference. MDRT stands for the $1 Million Roundtable, and it's the largest international association for financial services professionals and insurance agents all around the world. So this conference happened, the first one I did was in New Orleans. There was about 12,000 people at the New Orleans Convention Center. And when I did my audition in Chicago for this program, I quoted 4 people. Here's the MDRT takeaway. Watch this, y'all. I quoted 4 people who were alive in my speech. At the end of the speech, they said, "We loved it. This was incredible. It was amazing. You're going to do great at the main event. There's only one problem, Dr. Del Toro." I said, "What's that?" They said, "Listen, if we wanted to know what all these other people that you quoted that are still alive thought about peak performance, we would have hired them." They said, "We want to know what you believe.
You know.
So only quote dead people." Y'all, I got chills all over my body because that was a seminal transformational moment in my career. That happened in 2016. This event went so well that they immediately rebooked me for this same experience in Hong Kong, China. Another 12,000 Asian professionals in Hong Kong, China. First class flight, travel, hotel, everything. It was unbelievable. And we did the same thing over there. What's my point? The lesson was, so many times, y'all, when we build speeches and we build content, because we're well read as speakers, we tend to quote what a lot of the people that we've read and studied. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. But to build a signature keynote, and this is what we help people do at Crush the Stage, you can't just do a book report of 10 of the greatest books you've read. That's a book report. It's not a speech. A signature talk is what you believe. Absolutely. What your life, if I wring out your life, if I wring out the sponge of your life, what's going to come out? That's the recipe for your talk. Because the world already knows what Dr. Miles Monroe believes and what T.D. Jakes believes and what Dr. Del Toro believes and Tony Robbins and Dr. Maya Angelou and Ali Brown and Brene Brown. And the world already knows what all these people know. Oprah, Tyler Perry, I can name a zillion folks. People want to know what you believe. And when the client hires you, they want your, write this down, thought leadership. So for me to succeed at the $1 Million Roundtable, and y'all, my mentor, it took him 10 years of consideration to get to this stage. This is the power of mentorship. I got there after 2 years of consideration. So that's the power of mentorship. Mentorship can cut your learning curve if you apply what your mentor teaches you. So when people come through Crush the Stage and Speaking Business Mastery, the goal is they're getting the shortcut. And this is a quick lesson that this has nothing to do with this program and everything. At the end of the day, you want to be more profitable as a speaker, as an influencer, package your process. Because people are buying your shortcut. I'm going to say that again. If you want to grow your wealth as a speaker, zoom the camera in real quick on me, real quick. If you want to grow your wealth as a speaker, please listen to me. If you want to learn, I'm not going to say that because I want you to learn from everything I say. Watch this. If you want to grow your wealth as a speaker, as an influencer, package your process because people are buying your shortcut. If you build your brand on your personality, people can assume that you were born on third base. So they excuse away your success because they think, oh, well, she was just lucky. He was just lucky. But when you build your brand on your process and you package the process, that's what's duplicatable. That's what's repeatable. That's what's sustainable. And that's what's going to get you long-term business. People need to buy your process. And always remember this. Never let anybody celebrate your glory until they know and understand your story.
Listen.
Mic drop right there, right?
I know. And one of the key things he said, if you want to be a thought leader, you just got to leave with some thoughts, okay? Your own thoughts.
Your own stuff. Come on, somebody.
your own thoughts.
One of the things I started doing, because you shared a part of this at the Global Speaker Summit for Black Speakers Network last year, and I was in the room taking notes. And one of the things, like one of the platforms I had moved away from was Twitter. I'm like, Twitter, a lot of people talking, nobody listening. I don't need it, but
you gotta know. Come on now, really. Twitter is where the media hang out.
Let me finish. Pam.
Right. You got Pam upset, Brian.
Am I about to go?
I'm talking. I'm saying 20. The scene is 2020. Okay. Del Toro's talking at the Global Speaker Summit, and he's talking about this lesson. And then I'm like, okay, boom. Here's how I'm gonna use Twitter. And actually, Shauna Kay helped me with this. She was like, hey, every time you have a thought, like there's a Brian O's thought, something comes out of your head, just put it on Twitter. Doesn't matter if somebody likes it, sees it, whatever. Just use it to start to catalog your thought leadership. And so we know, and you're Del Toro, you kind of represent like the end of the rainbow, because it's kind of like, bro, you're right. Like, look at the stage. Like, even if you don't know anything else about speaking or branding or building a business, you can look at the venue you're speaking at and be like, yo, this is the zenith of where you want to be. And so, but at some point you had a thought, like one little thought. And that thought, if it's, let's say you capture on a tweet, tweets become articles, articles become books, books become masterclass becomes signature frameworks, they become courses, they become, and so you walked us through the entire journey, but you have to start somewhere.
That's right. Yeah, that's powerful, brother. And you're exactly right. It's like you got to start somewhere and be consistent with that somewhere and then branch out.
Yes. Be consistent and be strategic. Please be strategic. Don't think you're going to speak to everybody because you're going to speak to nobody. So be consistent, be rich in your niche. I tell that to people all the time. Just really be focused. Sir Charles Carey. I like Mr. Sir Charles Carey. He brought it.
That's consistent too. That's Charles everywhere.
So Sir Charles, he's constantly branding, constantly marketing. He's a speaker, he's a singer, he's a trainer. He's based in the DMV as well. And actually, Sir Charles stars in season 1 of our business reality television show, The Keynote.
I was just getting ready to ask you that because I actually watched a couple of episodes, and I was going to ask you, was he in on that series? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yep, that's him. He is a remarkable gentleman, very gifted and talented communicator, very smooth on stage, great deliverer. And he came to me. He said, "Listen," he said, "Man, we got the same mentor, but we don't have the same impact." He was very transparent.
Okay.
He came up to me after a speech one day, probably about 5 years ago. He said, "Listen, Dr. Willie Jolly's mentored both of us. Why is it that you're at the level you're at and I'm at the level that I'm at? And what do I got to do to get to that level?" And I got chill bumps, y'all, because he was honest and he was transparent.
Yes.
Yep.
And the lesson is this: two people can have the same mentor and get night and day different results. Because the truth is, in life, come on, Brian, here's another framework. The truth is, in life, E plus R equals O. I just taught this last week on one of my master classes that we do on StreamYard. E plus R equals O. Event plus your response to that event determines the ultimate outcome. Event E plus R equals O. Here's the thing. The same event can happen to two people. The difference between the outcome is their response to the event. So Sir Charles Carey came to me and said, "Listen, we have the same event. We got the same mentor. How come you have a different outcome than I have? And how do I grow my outcome?" I said, "Okay, let's work together and change your response to what you've been taught." And that's how he was able to grow his career, build himself out. He's doing amazing things. He also focuses on now. Sir Charles Carey has overcome cancer twice.
Wow.
And he was addicted to drugs, overcame that as well. So he's a cancer survivor, and he's overcome drug addiction to become one of the top resilience experts out there in the space, teaching people how to bounce back from hardship and trial and adversity. So I'm very grateful for him. He's been through Crush the Stage, Speaking Business Mastery, everything. And he's out there kicking butt and taking names. And he's leveraging his gifts and talents for speaking and communication. And so I'm proud of him.
That's one thing I think, hearing that story and because we're always talking about, I know Dr. Will Moreland is always saying, you got to do the work, you got to do the work, do the work. And I think sometimes, and you were talking earlier about the gentleman that had like all the certifications. I think
yes.
So sometimes I think we think like proximity is going to automatically produce like prosperity or something like that. Like you
osmosis, right? Like osmosis, it's just going to happen,
right?
Yeah. Nah. But no, I've seen him, and I think.
Or the magic wand. They think that Pam has a magic wand. Okay, Pam, let's do this for me. I want to be on CNN. It's like, no, you got to do the work, boo. Bam.
Bam.
All right, and then we got Elston.
Yes.
Yeah. So Elston Munford he has a very unique niche. Elston is based in Atlanta, Georgia. Very unique niche. He came into my space. He actually saw me. Another colleague of mine was doing a speaker training and asked if I would come in and evaluate the speakers at his speaker training, and kind of, because I've almost become, y'all, like the Simon Cowell of the speaking world, where people say, "Man, if I really want to get better, I need to be under Del Toro's critique." And so I went to a speaker training, and I was the expert in the room to evaluate their presentations. And so Elston spoke, and I gave him some great critique. In 2 minutes, he came up to me afterwards and he said, "You got to be my coach." He came through Crush the Stage. He came through Business Mastery. His passion is dads. This dude's passion is fathers. He has 2 sons, and he is really passionate about empowering fathers to step up and take their rightful place as dads, and the importance of that in their children's life, in their family's life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he's a telecommunications expert. So he's big in the sales and the telecommunications space, but his real passion is helping men create real results in their families and in their household. So I love this dude. He looks like Sugar Ray Leonard when you see him live in person. And he talks real smooth like him too, but he's a great guy doing great things. And I love those unique niches, when it's not just based upon like peak performance or diversity, but it's like, I love dads. I'm like, that's kind of different. And he loves to empower fathers. And I think that's really powerful.
And when you have a niche, people can refer you and recommend you. It's like, oh, okay, you need someone that's going to speak to that. Then I got the right person for you. So that is
absolutely good. Absolutely.
There's Todd. There's Todd. Todd and Dave. So Todd is wired differently. That is
yes, he is.
That is cool. So he is I like his bio and everything in his book, and it's all around that brand. So kind of give us a little bit about Dave and Todd.
So here's the interesting story that both of these guys are on the same page, and it was so they both live in the same city. So both Todd and Dave live in Sarasota, Florida.
I didn't know that.
Funny story. Watch this. So Dave Kaufman first met me by coming to the Full Throttle Experience, which is the motorcycle themed 4-day conference that this new book is inspired by. He sat under my teachings, et cetera, for years. And then he started his own conference called the Edge Conference for entrepreneurs. Because basically, Dave Kaufman is a small business coach. He coaches small business owners on how to scale their business. And he's also a master DISC trainer. So he actually certifies people in the DISC model of human behavior. Okay. So he's a master trainer of DISC, and he helps small businesses grow. So he's come through my programs, and now he's doing his own conferences and things of that nature, helping take them to the next level. Todd was an MC at Dave's event.
Oh.
And I met Todd, and Todd was like, you were the most electrifying speaker we had at the conference. Because, of course, Dave had me come speak at his first several conferences because he said my conference inspired him to do his. But Todd is a beast. Todd runs a $10 million payroll organization every year. He is a titan when it comes to payroll services. His companies they're all 7- and 8-figure brands. He has multiple real estate companies, et cetera. He's a very, very humble guy, a father, husband, mentor, but his passion is helping people understand that they were wired differently. So he's written 2 books. He's got a 3rd one that's on the way. And, he's gone through Crush the Stage and Business Mastery because he's a very, very highly successful, like 8-figure CEO. And he wanted to develop a brand, a personal development brand that allows him to teach all those CEO lessons to the public. I mean, this dude's got football stadiums named for him in Indiana. I mean, he's a titan. He's killing it. But he wanted to package himself as a speaker. And so he came through Crush the Stage and Business Mastery. And he's one of my coolest friends. And he challenges me and he pushes me and my brand to go to the next level. And he's just a gentleman when it comes to what it means to be excellent. He's tall, he's very built, very muscular, and he's got things like perfectly blue eyes. So it's like when you see he's got this like mega grin. He's just like he looks exactly like, y'all, true story. I cannot make this up. So me and Todd were hanging out in Sarasota a month ago, right? And we were on this boat and we went to go have lunch. And we're coming back from lunch, and I said, Todd, during the pandemic, I got certified in boating, right? So he's like, yeah. He said, so do you want to drive the boat? I said, of course I do. He's like, all right, cool. So he showed me a couple things on his boat, and so I'm driving the boat. This dude takes off his shirt and jumps off the back of the boat into the ocean while I'm driving. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He's radical, man. He is radical. And so I slowed the boat down, turned around. I said, I got to come back and get you. He's like floating in the water. I think that'd be a good idea. I'm like, oh, I came back and got him.
Crazy.
And so I pulled the boat next to him and he starts taking me through. Okay. All right, Del. So what do you first thing you need to do when you're rescuing somebody in the water? And what do you, and then how are you going to come get me? He's asking me all these questions while he's floating and other boats are going by. It is like bananas, right? And he said, getting your boating license is one thing, but being out on the water is something different. And he said, I wanted to make sure that everything that you learned, you could actually apply in a real world scenario. So we got him back on the boat, and then he took me through the paces, y'all. And then at the end of the whole day, he's like, that's what it's like being at Crush the Stage and being in your programs. He said, you push us that hard in speaking, so I wanted to push you that hard in boating.
Oh, my God.
An animal in business. He's a remarkable CEO. And I'm very proud to call him one of my top students.
I like the fact that a lot of your speakers have books. And so when people want to make that pivot from doing what they're good at to like speaking, a book is a good bridge for that. And so now it's like it gives them a lot of content, but also too, they can share that book out to people to say, hey, I'm not just a CEO, but I'm also an author and a speaker. So that's really, really cool. I like the niche of Henry. He was one of the ones that just is like the preacher's preachers go to if they want to preach better. I mean, that was his thing. I kind of like that niche. I was like, ooh, I probably know some people that could be his clients.
Man, Pastor Henry Ballard is really, he's just a remarkable man. He came into my space and came to Crush the Stage, and he's like, I've been preaching for 30 years. I've gone through all kinds of crazy seminary, and I've never learned the things that you teach in Crush the Stage. He said, I train preachers, and the stuff that you taught in Crush the Stage, it just trumps the things that I've been teaching, and I teach preachers how to preach better. And he said, I know the theology, but I don't understand the psychology. That's what you taught me.
Yeah.
And so, so he's been just a remarkable, and so he has a brand called Prepared to Preach, where he trains preachers on how to be more dynamic in their delivery. But watch this, when he came through Speaking Business Mastery, he also developed more of a business corporate, brand around resolving conflict and creating more connection through communication. So he's happily married, got a beautiful family. And so one of the things that he also teaches is the importance of effective communication. And I said, man, that will sell in the business space, because he wanted to be able to, he said, I love preaching, I'll always minister, but I want to do more of what you do, Dr. Delatoro. It's so funny, Sierra and Pam and Brian, because I had this interesting niche that I didn't intend on creating, but it's very powerful. A lot of people who have God-given gifts and talents of speaking and who have been doing it for years in the church world look at my brand and they say, man, you're able to do both. You can go into a mega church and shut the building down, but the majority of your income comes from your ability to go into the marketplace, the business community, and speak to corporations, conventions, associations, and all that. And you're still a Christian, but you're not in those environments preaching. How did you do that? How do you be that bi-dialectical? So a lot of people come to me for that transition, and Pastor Henry Ballard is one of those individuals.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yep, you are anointed for business, right? Come
on, sis. You know it. You was there, girl. Come on, somebody.
Yes, that is it. Anointed for business. It is. It's one of the things too. Even with Ministry Marketing Solutions, one of the things that people have a hard time with, a lot of Christian speakers, is that they have so much Christianese that no one who's like not really flowing in that space can even listen to them, because it's so much churchy and religiosity and that sort of thing. So I says, if you really want to get paid in the corporate space, you got to probably have to drop the apostle, pastor, prophet, and all that kind of stuff off your title. Let's start with that at the title, okay?
Right there.
And so they're like, "Oh, well, you're not Christian. I can be a Christian. I don't have to just wear it up on my sleeve."
Right, you can still be a pastor without the title on your speaker on your.
Yeah, I mean, just tell people. You don't have to tell. Just by your actions.
Right, absolutely
evidence. So it's like, we got to come past that, especially as I want to say, especially as Black people. Sometimes Black people really have so much of that in them, what I call a church culture, that kind of drops some of the church culture so you can grow a bigger stage in the world. We don't want to keep recycling Christians. We want to go out into the world. Go ye. So that's my trigger. Okay, I'm gonna let us go. Let's go to this, Dr.
Brian, can I get the camera for 2 seconds, bro? Let me ask you a simple question. In your city, when you drive down the street and you're hungry, are you looking for a sign that says Christian Chick-fil-A? Or are you looking for Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
Truett Cathy and his team found a way to be applicable and relevant in the tune of billions of dollars in the marketplace.
Yes.
Without leading with their Christianity. You don't have to always lead with your faith. At the end of the day, what God told us is that the light should do the work. Let your light so shine. So when your light does the work, you ain't got to do a lot of talking. You ain't got to do a lot of talking. But Paul says, I became all things to all men that I might save some. In other words, you've got to learn how to speak different dialects, different languages. If people think that Bishop T.D. Jakes is only a bishop, that's like 20% of who that man is. And because I've been in closed door private mentoring sessions with him, he is a titan in business. He is a titan in business. Do not be fooled. So you got to understand how to be able to go in the business world and take your message outside of the four walls of the church so that you can create the real change and transformation that you really desire, y'all. But you don't always have to lead with your faith. Let your light do the work and let it do the drawing, and people will be changed and transformed as a result of that. All right, that was my little quick share.
Thank you. That is it. That is it.
Dr. Jacinta Elder. So Dr. Jacinta Elder, she is she's based in St. Petersburg, Florida, and she's a medical doctor who wants to really help people in the metaphysical space, in the self-confidence, self-esteem space. She really wants to empower. She actually wants to help medical doctors be able to kind of transition out of their practice and do healing work and do inspirational, transformational work outside of their practices as well. And so she's really remarkable, gifted physician, and got more degrees than a thermometer, just powerful woman, but she really has a heart to help medical professionals as well as women's empowerment and all that kind of stuff. The general public, she definitely wants to serve them, but she also has a great passion to get clear about helping other people in her profession to be able to make the shift of, because they say sometimes the doctor is the greatest patient, right? So the healed always need healing. The healer always needs healing. So she wants to help in that space as well. So
and she's got a new book coming out too. I think her book is called Getting Unstuck. Yeah. So that's her pivot book to really move from the medical doctor into that space of getting unstuck and getting unstuck by getting still. That's the name of her book. So so I love that. And then the final page is where is our call to action right here. There you go. There you go. So it's available on Amazon for pre-order. It's on Audible. People can get it and download it now. Leave a review when you get it. I know you're going to love it. Let us know that you love it by leaving a review on Amazon. And if you can, leave a video review because those get up higher in the ticker. Absolutely. So if you do, just leave a video review as well, because that way we'll see we'll hear your voice as well, and you'll get higher in the ticker, and people will see you and follow you on Amazon. Amazon is a beast. This is like its own little Facebook, really. It's got all these other things in it that you just you need to just be up on Amazon. So Make sure that you get shifted into higher gear. Love it, love it. I love the fact that it is a very strategic book. It is a very it's one of those books that's life-changing, really needed right now. We're going out of this post-pandemic, 18 months of being sheltered in place and all this kind of stuff. It's now time to just go out and ride.
That's right.
Get into higher gear. Yes, I love it. I love it. So, yes.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. That was a fantastic. Jeez.
Yes.
You can go and download the magazine. The online issue is available. You could go to speakersmagazine.com or .net. Because we have both now, and actually get it and download it and read it, share it, that kind of thing, and just put it, and learn from it, and then make sure that you are sharing it and learn from it. And so that we appreciate you, Dale. We really do.
Make sure you get your book pre-order where is it? On Amazon. Make sure Amazon. You get that for sure.
Absolutely. It's on Amazon. It's on barnesandnoble.com. It's on all the major retailers. And then one thing I think is interesting is too, because the question was asked about what's it like working with a major publisher. And then Brian was asking the question about making sure that we really help educate our speakers. So watch this. While the book was published by a major publisher, the workbook, we retained the rights to all ancillary works.
So cool.
We retained rights to all ancillary, all spinoff. So I have 100% rights to the workbook, any master classes. Right now, we're building an online course around the book, et cetera, et cetera. So any spinoffs from that, we retain all those rights. So I think it's important to kind of help people understand when you're dealing with a major publisher, you still have control. You still get to assert the things that you want and desire. So we're actually building out the page on our website, where people can buy the workbook by itself. They can buy the workbook to go along with the book to do book clubs and book studies and things of that nature. So y'all, there's all kinds of great ways that you can come play with us. Make sure that you all join the Facebook group so that as everything changes, every day I'm getting updates from the publisher about, oh, we've done this for your book. We've done that for your book. We're adding this for your book campaign. We're changing this. Like I said, we just found out the whole month of November, we're going to be in over 35 airports all across the country. So that's a big, big deal. And that doesn't happen for everyone every day. So my goal is to lead the industry in this effort and in this way, and then come back and teach what I've learned to others. And so Black Speakers Network, I'm Pam Perry, I'm so grateful. Speakers Magazine, Sierra, I'm so grateful to you all. And I think we're going to do some other great things to play together in this space. And I know you guys are going to help to slingshot your boy all the way to the NYT. Come on, somebody.
That's right. NYT. That's it. That's the goal.
That's
Clubhouse next week. We want you in the speaker PR and branding room. So we want you in Clubhouse next week, and we could just take one of these pages here and just go.
One page.
I'm telling you, it is a lot. It is so much. I like this, the Wheel of Life page. This one here is
really so good.
Yeah, I know it is. It's one of those things that just really, you got to just, it's like I said, it's yummy. So I will contact you about Clubhouse next week, 9:00 p.m. So you got to let me know. I know your schedule's like all over the place. So we'll lock you in for a day next week.
Can't wait. Pam, you did a sensational job with all this. Thank you so much, Sierra. It was a joy to work with you, babe. Really, really incredible. And Brian, as always, brother, and thank you for being a brand champion.
Yeah,
absolutely, my friend. My pleasure. Well, we are done. Thank you so much again, everybody, for watching. Again, I do want to remind folks, if you want to be in the next issue of Speakers Magazine, make sure you head on over to speakersmagazine.net/advertorial and lock in your slot, because they are on their way out and it will be the end of 2021 before you know it. So we are done. Have a great rest of the day. And thank you all, as always, and we will see you on stage. Take care.
Bye.
Get into a high gear, everybody.